history was made, a key player might be injured, and for the first time this season, Liverpool lost in the Champions League. But was this just part of Arne Slot's plan, or should you be worried? Jayden Danns wrote his name in the record books, Federico Chiesa was spotted struggling, and a heavily rotated Liverpool side fell short against PSV. What really happened in Eindhoven? Stick around to find out. And before we dive in, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss any updates on the Reds. Let's get into it. Mate, let me tell you something, history was made on Wednesday night, and you probably didn't even realize it before the ball was kicked. Liverpool's trip to the Netherlands for the final Champions League group stage match wasn't just about getting minutes in the legs. It was a night that will go down in the books, and it all started with one name on the team sheet, Jayden Danns. Now, you might be thinking, yeah, I've heard the name, but listen to this, Danns officially became the youngest Liverpool player ever to start a European match. That's right, at just 19 years and 13 days, he broke a record that had been standing since 2009, when Martin Kelly made his debut against Lyon. That's proper history, right there. And let's be real, this wasn't a huge surprise. Arne Slot rotated heavily, making 9 changes to the side, resting key players since the Reds had already booked a place in the last 16. But for Danns, this wasn't just another game. This was a statement. If you've been keeping up, you'll know the lad had a rough start to the season, injuries kept him out for a while. But since coming back in December, he's been taking every opportunity with both hands. FA Cup? Scored. Premier League? Got his minutes. Carabao Cup? Played his part. Champions League? Now making history. The kid is ticking off competitions like it's nothing. And Slot is clearly impressed. After Danns got his FA Cup goal earlier this month, the boss made it clear he loves this lad's mentality. And that's what makes a Liverpool player. Hard work, hunger, and stepping up when called upon. Whether he stays for the rest of the season or goes out on loan, one thing's certain, you're looking at a serious prospect here. But it wasn't just Danns making waves in this match. It was a night for the squad players to show their worth. Federico Chiesa got his second start, James McConnell is quietly stacking up appearances, and we saw a completely shuffled 11 featuring Kelleher, Bradley, Kwanzaa, Tsimikas, Endo, and Elliott. Even Andy Robertson was thrown in at centre-back. Meanwhile, Cody Gakpo was one of only 2 players to keep his place from last weekend's game, bringing a bit of stability to the mix. Now, with the knockout stages coming up, the real battle begins. Liverpool is in a strong position, and seeing young talents like Danns stepping up just proves how solid the squad depth is right now. This is exactly what you want, competition for places, young players pushing for spots, and a team ready to take on anyone in Europe. So, tell me, how excited are you to see more of Jayden Danns in a Liverpool shirt? Because, mate, this is just the beginning. Mate, what a night of Champions League football that was. Absolute chaos across Europe, goals flying in everywhere, and as always, this competition just knows how to deliver the drama. For Liverpool, though, this trip to Eindhoven had nothing riding on it. The job was already done, we were guaranteed a top 2 finish, so Arne Slot took a young squad out there to get some valuable minutes. But one of the more experienced names on the team sheet? Federico Chiesa. And let me tell you, the lad was right in the thick of it. It was his first start since September 25th, and he didn't waste a second making an impact. Lively from the off, he was tearing down the right flank, making things happen. And within minutes, he'd already won us a penalty, which Cody Gakpo slotted home. Not long after, Chiesa's shot was parried straight into Harvey Elliott's path, and boom, Liverpool 2-0 up. That's the kind of influence you want to see. But then, a moment of concern. Right after winning the penalty, Chiesa went down. And you know how it is with him, mate, his injury record isn't exactly spotless. He hobbled away, pointing to his heel, and even had a couple of words with Arne Slot and the bench. At that point, you're thinking, not again. But fair play to him, he played on. Didn't hide, didn't hold back. switched sides in the second half, especially after Gakpo came off, and just kept showing exactly what he can bring to this Liverpool squad. By the end of the night, whatever was bothering him earlier didn't seem to be an issue anymore. And that's exactly what you want to see, a fighter, a player willing to put in the work, and a reminder of just how dangerous he can be when he's fit. So, what do you reckon? Chiesa deserves more starts in this Liverpool side? Because if he keeps performing like that, Slot's going to have some big decisions to make. Okay, Red, if you thought this game was going to be a quiet one, think again. Liverpool's trip to Eindhoven might not have had much riding on it in terms of qualification, but it was still a night full of goals, drama, and some valuable minutes for the Reds' young guns. Now, let's be honest, when you saw that squad walking around the city on Wednesday morning, you probably thought it was the youth team out for a sightseeing trip. And in many ways, it was. With 12 senior stars left at home, this was a squad full of fringe players, academy prospects, and a few youngsters drafted in for the experience. But that's exactly what Arne Slot wanted. He wasn't bothered about the result, and he didn't even try to hide it. The job in the Champions League was already done, Liverpool were top of the group, and this match was all about resting the big names, getting minutes into the backup brigade, and giving the Cop kids a taste of European football. No jeopardy, but definitely no shortage of action. If Slot's dad thought last week's win over Lille was too boring, well, he got his money's worth this time. 5 first-half goals, a bit of chaos, and a comeback from PSV, proper Champions League drama. Now, Cody Gakpo, PSV legend, born and bred in Eindhoven, was always going to be the centre of attention. He was offered the chance to stay home, like the other senior lads, but chose to travel back to his hometown, with his family in the stands. And he didn't take long to get involved, winning and converting a penalty to put Liverpool ahead. No celebration, out of respect. The PSV crowd appreciated that, though, he got the biggest ovation of the night when he came off after 52 minutes. But Liverpool's lead didn't last long. Johan Bakayoko sent Andy Robertson and Jarell Quansah for a hot dog before finishing brilliantly. Harvey Elliott restored the lead, tapping in a rebound after a Chiesa shot, but again, PSV hit straight back. This time, it was Ismail Saibiri, squeezing one in from a tight angle. And then, stoppage time heartbreak. A cross from Ricardo Pepe deflected off Connor Bradley and Robertson before creeping into the far corner. Brutal. The second half? A bit of a non-event, really. PSV held on, got one over on Slot, but let's be honest, he won't be losing sleep over this. Because the real battle is on Saturday. Bournemouth away, Premier League title race heating up, and Liverpool pushing for a 20th league title. And while it was a great experience for most of the young lads, spare a thought for Morinallo. The 18-year-old defender got sent off just 3 minutes into his senior debut. A last-man challenge on Bakayoko, and that was it, his first Liverpool appearance cut brutally short. But you know what? It can only get better from here for the lad. So, what do you reckon? A useful night for Liverpool despite the loss? And how excited are you for the weekend's Premier League showdown? Hit that like button, subscribe, and stick around, because there's plenty more drama coming. Up the Reds!